At Intel, world-changing ideas start with real solutions, and real solutions start with exceptional engineering. The quantum computing revolution, the next generation of AI experts, the renewable energy grid, early diagnosis for cancer. The examples are countless, the impacts are endless, but the foundation is always the same. It starts with Intel. Learn more at intel.com/stories.
Welcome to the Instagram Stories. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. On the weekends, I like to play a clip either from a podcast that I was on or a podcast that I recorded recently where I had a guest. This week, I posted a new episode of my podcast with my friend Cori Ingrassia. What I like about Cori is that she's a social media strategist, but she is actually from my area. And when I found out that she existed and was local to where I was, I just got really excited, and we've been friends ever since. Here's the clip of the interview I did with Cori. Do you mind talking a little bit about some of the TikTok and now Reels videos that you've created and sort of what goes into your process there and how that's helped you?
So TikTok, it was just for fun. TikTok
but
was
you've jumped in with both feet. You've jumped in and you've done so well.
Why not? I mean, TikTok, I really just kind of saw what was trending. I paid attention to a lot of like what some of the major influencers were doing, because sometimes it would be, you'd notice that they would be using like a sound that you haven't heard before. It's not like a popular song and not a ton of people are using it, but like Charli D'Amelio is using it, you know? And to me, that's like a flag. Like that's like, oh, pay attention to that song because it's going to be a trending sound soon. So you want to try and stay ahead of the trends, I find, on TikTok. The same thing like with like school, back to school coming up and stuff. You want to start thinking about using that hashtag of back to school like in July and August, because eventually as it gets closer to actual back to school, they are going to do that as a featured trend. And they are going to pull, even if, let's say that they're using some fancy hashtag that they created, like back to school TikToks. I don't know, but they're still going to pull from the basic, like the general back to school hashtag. They still pull from that.
And you know what's funny? I never realized that until just the other day, because I thought the concept of TikTok was, and to a certain extent, I'm sure Reels will have this, but when something is like a big deal at the moment, jump on that hashtag. If everyone's making videos like kind of the same thing, you do it quick and like kind of ride that wave. I thought that was the concept, and I haven't spent a ton of time making videos for TikTok, but I thought that was the concept. And then I read exactly what you're describing, which is if you make a video and that hashtag becomes popular in the future, your video will be rewarded at that time, which is a really interesting concept because not something Instagram does. Like Instagram is very in the moment. Like what is the people and place, Instagram calls it the people you care about. What are they doing like right now? I forget how they phrase it, but something along those lines. And TikTok is not about that. It's a very different mindset. Almost the way Pinterest has that very long tail where content might become popular later. And I think that's a really good point that you make of how to look at it. What you make now might not be popular now, but it might be popular in the future. So it's an investment of time that could pay off later just because of that one piece. I think that's a very great concept, which is very different from Instagram.
Yeah. And the things that I found was interesting with TikTok is that you just never know like when something's going to hit. So I feel like if it feels fun, like I wouldn't put too much pressure on like trying to stay ahead of the trends. Like, yeah, for sure, monitor it, but do stuff for fun also, because I've had videos go viral and they won't go viral like immediately, but they'll like 2-3 weeks after, all of a sudden it just takes off, and I don't know why. I can't even tell you why it did, but it was a fun video. Like I did one that was all about like 90s kids, and it was one of the first ones that I did, and it didn't get a ton of views at first, and then all of a sudden I started getting all these like followers, like thousands of followers. And I don't know, like, I was like, what happened? What did I do? I didn't even know where they were coming from at first.
That's so funny. I'm sorry I missed that video. I'm going to go back and watch it now.
It's one of my very first ones. And then I also have stark contrast. I have another really simple one that I did just of like making my bed. Like it was like, I think a 6-second video. And that one has over 1 million views. Like
To hear the rest of this interview with Cori, check out the latest episode of my podcast, The Instagram Stories, wherever you get podcasts. It could be on Spotify, it could be on Apple Music, it could be in iTunes, or it could be in Stitcher or Google Play, wherever you get podcasts. Trust me, you can find the Instagram Stories podcast there. That's it for today's episode. Come back tomorrow for Mosseri Monday, where we digest the latest clips that head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, shared on his Ask Me Anything.